Hi, I'm Dr. Pratik Berry, and I want to tell you a story. I was a girl growing up in Wilmington, Delaware. I was in middle school. This would have been in the early 70s. And my middle school, Warner Middle School, was at the top of the hill. Down this cobblestone, ancient cobblestone road was one of the wonders for me of our city. It was the Brandywine Zoo, Wilmington's own zoo. Ooh. And if I got done with work early in school, because I would try to get my homework done, I would rush down that hill. And if you ran really fast, you didn't know if you were going to end up falling and tumbling because the hill was so steep. And then at the end of that hill was the Brandywine Zoo. And that hill was called Monkey Hill because of the monkeys in the zoo. Now, I have to tell you, it was really monkey in the zoo. That zoo was about the size of, a living room. And there was a monkey and a chicken, maybe a goat. I think years later they got a llama. There's a lot more there now, but back then there wasn't much at the Brandywine Zoo. But it was a safari to me back then. It was amazing. And you could stand for hours and look and see what the old monkey was going to do. And then you could watch the chicken or whatever it was. It may have been a pigeon. It wasn't much, but it was marvelous. Years later, I moved to San Diego, and the world famous San Diego Zoo is thousands and thousands of acres. And we had a membership, and we went at least every week. And we'd go at night to see the animals that were hibernating, and we'd go to the Wild Animal Park, which was one of our favorite places because at night you could get storytelling and hot cocoa, and that was fascinating. And you could ride on caravans and go up close and feed animals. And so it was very, very cool. A few years beyond that, I actually went on safari in South Africa and talk about amazing, where you actually see a lion take down a gazelle and you watch as that lion calls in the pride and feeds the whole family from that gazelle. It is amazing. And so when I went back to Delaware and I took a friend over to see our zoo and Monkey Hill, I realized that hill wasn't that high. It was more like Monkey Slope. And that zoo was not big at all. And there really wasn't much to crow about. By then, I think they had some crows. And my friend kind of said, "This is not a zoo." And I was like, "It was for me." Here's the thing. Back then, seeing through the eyes of a child who hadn't seen much more than that, it was marvelous. It was amazing. And then after traveling and seeing bigger and more, an actual live safari, I began to judge what I had thought of as marvelous as nothing more than something to laugh at. I think sometimes we do this with people. As we begin to learn the things that we didn't know and see the things that we weren't able to see about race, about gender, about ourselves, about society, we sometimes look at others and say, "How come you didn't know this? That's not a hill, that's a slope." Seeing through the eyes of a child is a marvelous thing, and then we grow up and we put away our childish things. But there is still something about seeing that childlike wonder and that amazement. And I think we should use that whenever people are beginning to learn and to see. But when you learn, don't use it as something to try to impress someone who's known or lived with it or whatever forever. And don't use it to put someone else down who is trying to learn it now. We're all beginning to see, we're all beginning to learn. And if you are wise enough, you will go back to those places and remember when that was all you had. And you will remember how marvelous it was. And you'll say a word of gratitude for that zoo that opened your eyes to the world. I love you.